Alright friends, welcome back to 28th week. This is the news analysis and features, and this is 6th July to 12th July, and here we are going to discuss 3 events. First and the foremost is reality of rural India, an eye-opener for the governments. Recently the report of SECC 2011, Socio-Economic Caste Census 2011 is clearly evident that rural India is in distress. We are going to discuss on that. Second aspect is FATCA and MCAA. Government of India took several steps in recent times, and we are going to discuss what is meant by FATCA as well as MCAA. And the third one is India abstained from United Nations Human Rights Council vote. Is it tilted towards Israel? Previously, Government of India always voted for the resolutions of United Nations Human Rights Council because it is widely believed that Israel is committing excesses in Gaza Strip, and we are going to discuss these 3 issues in this week's news analysis and features. Look into the first one. Reality of rural India, an eye-opener for the governments. Socio-economic caste census were held in 2011. These are different from the census of population. Population census are held once in 10 years. In the year 2011, population census were held. They were the 15th, right? First population census started in the year 1872, and recent and the last population census were held in 2011, and that is different and this is different. This is a socio-economic and caste census. Socio-economic and caste census were held for the first time after 1932. Here, government released socio-economic data, but the data pertaining to caste is yet to be released. Meanwhile, government appointed an expert panel headed by Arvind Panagaria before releasing the caste census, but socio-economic data is out, and let us look at the important features of socio-economic data. First and the foremost is 13.3% of the population in rural India are living with one room or kacha roof. Total rural households are 17.91 crores or roughly 18 crores. Around 13% of the population are living in kacha houses. That means around 2.3 to 2.4 crore houses in rural India are kacha houses. The second important point is 21.5% of rural India population are Dalits or tribal families. One more important aspect is 49% of the population with one or more types of deprivation. You may ask, what is deprivation? As per the 2011 socio-economic census, 14 types of disadvantages, or you can say attributes, were listed, like the persons who are dependent only on manual casual labor. Like that, 14 attributes were listed, and 49% of the population in rural India have either one or other such type of deprivation. The other aspect is 51% of the families. For 51% of the families, their livelihood is from manual casual labor. For 51% of the families in rural India, their livelihood is just manual casual labor. Look at other aspects. Rural illiteracy is 36%, or I can say rural literacy is 64%. In the country, in rural areas, 30% of the population are landless labor with major income from manual labor only. That means their income is dependent on manual labor. Second thing is, they do not own any land, right? So, such type of population are 30%. And please look into this 2 types, that is, in 75% families, the monthly income of the highest earning member is less than rupees 5,000. At the same time, in 92% of the families, the monthly income of the highest earning family member is less than rupees 10,000. The highest earning member of the family is earning less than rupees 5,000 in at least 75% of the families, and look at the education standards. In rural areas, rural households with a family member who is a graduate is only 3%. After looking into these aspects, the stark reality of rural India is rural areas could not create jobs which can bring people out of poverty. Second important aspect is agrarian distress is more because several people are dependent on manual casual labor and 30% of the population do not own any land. Third important aspect is skilled jobs are hard to get and more people are dependent on manual casual labor. Right? This shows why several suicides are taking place in the hinterland of the country, especially Vidarbha region of Maharashtra is one example. And finally, what is to be done? If you ask what is to be done, short-term measures and long-term measures, at least to take care of the distress of rural families, short-term measures are, please continue Mahatma Gandhi Narega. There are news reports that government is going to dilute Mahatma Gandhi Narega. And after looking into the distress of the rural people, there is a case in point to continue Mahatma Gandhi Narega. That is the first important point. Second important point is implement National Food Security Act without diluting it. Recently, there was Santa Kumar committee report which recommended dilution of National Food Security Act. But after looking into the distress in rural areas, there is a case in point to implement National Food Security Act of giving subsidized food grains to the population of the country. Third thing is wherever required, provide the social security pensions to the population. That is also the utmost necessity nowadays. And at the same time, plug the leakages in expanding these benefits. So these are to be done as a short-term arrangement. And if you look at the long term, in the long run, some structural anomalies are to be corrected. First and foremost is concentrate on Skill India. To develop skills of the people, that is the utmost necessity. Second is Make in India program should become a reality for creating jobs in manufacturing sector because agriculture cannot alleviate the rural distress. So please concentrate on Make in India program. And third thing is concentrate on agrarian distress because it is on the highest in rural India. Try to take structural measures to alleviate agrarian distress in the country, and these three measures are required on the long run, and in the short run, please continue various social security programs. That is the need of our governments at the helm of affairs should not take the social security schemes lightly. Right, friends? After looking into this, please look into the next issue. FATCA as well as MCAA. Before going into what is FATCA and MCAA, I would like to explain four important aspects in recent times. Otherwise, four important measures undertaken in recent times by the government of India. And first and foremost is Black Money Act 2015 was passed. Black Money Act 2015 was passed. That is with regard to undisclosed income abroad. That is with regard to undisclosed income abroad. And before implementing this act, government has given time up to September 30. That is called compliance window. Please come out clean. Penalties will be less. But once people do not come out or do not use the opportunity of compliance window, subsequently this Black Money for Undisclosed Assets Act 2015 will be implemented and penalties will be more. This is a step towards reducing black money. This is a step towards curbing black money and to prevent undisclosed foreign assets by the Indian nationals. Second important aspect, the Benami Transactions Bill introduced in Lok Sabha, but it is yet to be passed. With a view to curb Benami transactions, if X is purchasing some property, it may be in the name of Y. That is Benami transaction, right? So, to curb Benami transactions, government recently introduced Benami Transactions Bill 2015. It is yet to be passed, and this is also with a view to curb black money. Third thing, sale or purchase of items above rupees 1 lakh requires PAN number. Sale or purchase of items worth above rupees 1 lakh requires PAN number. It is yet to be implemented, but this was announced in the budget. Fourth one is draft guidelines released on increasing the share of digital payments to curb cash transactions. Recently, government released draft guidelines to increase digital transactions. This is also the step towards curbing black money, right? So, these four, all of you are familiar, but this 5 and 6, some of you may be familiar, and let us look at these two. What is FATCA? These two are also actions towards curbing black money. FATCA is the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. Recently, India and United States of America signed this agreement. Recently, India and United States of America signed Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, and because of which, if Indian nationals hold some accounts in the offshore, that means if Indian nationals hold some financial accounts in USA, USA will reveal to Government of India. Similarly, if US nationals hold some accounts in India, India will share that information to United States of America. That means mutually India and United States of America will share this information as per this FATCA, right? This will prevent the undisclosed accounts held by Indians in America as well as held by Americans in India. This is the fifth one. Let us look at the sixth one. This is MCAA. This MCAA is Multilateral Competent Authority Agreement. Multilateral Competent Authority Agreement. This Multilateral Competent Authority Agreement is piloted by OECD. You may ask, what is OECD? OECD is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. It is a Paris-based organization established in the year 1961, and it is behind black money. Why OECD is behind black money is part of this black money is going into the hands of terrorists. So, to prevent terrorist financing, this OECD is behind black money, and OECD brought this Multilateral Competent Authority Agreement. Initially, 51 countries signed in October 2014. 51 countries signed in October 2014 at Berlin, and India signed in the month of June along with some other countries. Switzerland also signed this agreement, and as on date, 61 countries are part of this agreement, and the important aspect here is the signatories to this MCAA will have to share automatically the information, which is known as automatic exchange of information. The signatories of this MCAA will have to share automatically, which is known as automatic exchange of information, or AEOI. Second important aspect is these countries have to share information with common reporting standards, or CRS. These countries have to share information with common reporting standards, or CRS, and some time frame is given to formulate common reporting standards, and for India, time is given up to September 2017. That means India being a signatory from September 2017 onwards, the information on financial transactions will be automatic. So, it is not possible to hide black money anywhere in the world, including Switzerland. So this is multilateral competent authority agreement. This is also a step to curb black money. So I hope you understood the initiatives taken by government in recent times to curb black money. Very few of you are know about FATCA as well as MCAA, and this MCAA is the right mechanism which will facilitate automatic exchange of information for the countries who signed or who are the signatories. Right friends, look into the last issue of this week. India abstained from United Nations Human Rights Council vote. I hope all of you are familiar with the organization, Geneva-based United Nations organization. Geneva-based United Nations organization is Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. This is Geneva-based organization which looks into human rights violations. In the world, there are several internal conflicts, and because of internal conflicts, sometimes there may be war crimes, there may be genocides. What is meant by genocide? The genocide is nothing but deliberately killing one particular sect or religion. Deliberately killing one particular ethnic group or one particular religion or one particular group is known as genocide. In the internal conflicts, wherever genocide is there or war crimes is there, wherever human rights are affected, this United Nations organization, which is the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, will come into picture. This is Geneva-based organization. And all of you are familiar with the alleged war crimes committed by Israel on Palestine. For the past several years, there are news reports that Israel is committing war crimes or excesses in Palestine region, and several civilians are killed in Gaza Strip. And recently, a panel was constituted. The panel was headed by former New York Supreme Court Judge Mary Davis. Former New York Supreme Court Judge Mary Davis gave report on the excesses by Israel on Palestine. Excesses of Israel on Palestine or Gaza Strip. And the report says Israel is targeting civilians. Normally, when some country is attacking other country, civilians deliberately should not be targeted. And Israel is targeting civilians, and Israel is targeting residential areas, schools, hospitals. That is the findings of the report of Davis. And as per the Davis report, 7 out of 10 killed were civilians, and among the killed there were 500 children, and totally around 2,104 people were killed, out of which maximum were civilians. Around 60 to 70% people killed in Gaza Strip were civilians, and Davis report strongly indicted Israel. Davis report strongly indicted Israel. Subsequently, United Nations Human Rights Council proposed a resolution. United Nations Human Rights Council proposed a resolution for handing over this to International Criminal Court. International Criminal Court, you may ask, what is International Criminal Court? International Criminal Court is situated in The Hague, Netherlands, and it came into force from 1st July 2002 based on Rome Statute. Rome Statute was signed by several countries. At present, around 123 countries are party to Rome Statute. Based on Rome Statute, International Criminal Court was established basically in the year 2002, and India is not signatory to Rome Statute. Whoever the countries signatories to Rome Statute, they have to cooperate with International Criminal Court when there is a case of genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes. When there is genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes, the signatory countries have to cooperate with International Criminal Court. And recently there was a resolution by United Nations Human Rights Council for referring this matter to International Criminal Court, for referring the excesses committed by Israel to International Criminal Court. Here 41 countries, for this resolution, 41 countries voted in favor of this resolution. That means 41 countries agreed that there is a case for referring this particular human rights violations to International Criminal Court. 41 countries signed for. United States of America voted against, because United States of America voted against because it is natural and understandable, because Israel is a friendly country of United States of America. And previously India used to vote for the resolutions indicting Israel, because Israel is committing excesses in Gaza Strip. And in the previous resolutions, India supported the resolution against Israel, but this time India abstained from voting. India abstained from voting, and this is not understandable, because 41 countries voted for the resolution of handing over the case of excesses as per the Davis report to International Criminal Court, but United States voted against it, but India abstained from voting along with a few other countries. There is a shift this time, and this is not known whether it will be a permanent shift or a temporary measure, and only time can say India's stance towards Palestine cause, and this time India slightly tilted towards Israel, which is not understandable. And India's explanation is, as the matter is being referred to International Criminal Court, as the matter is being referred to International Criminal Court, India abstained from it because India is not a member of the Rome Statute. India's explanation is, India abstained from what? Because of the sole reason, as the matter is being referred to International Criminal Court, and India is not member of Rome Statute, which established ICC. That's why it abstained from voting. But the explanation given by India is not appreciable because of the reason, when the case pertaining to Syria was handed over to International Criminal Court, India supported the resolution. Previously, when case pertaining to Syria was handed over to International Criminal Court, India supported the resolution, but this time India abstained from voting, and this stand is somewhat surprising. And Palestina envoy expressed his unhappiness, and he stated that this is the approach, and India deviated from the ethos of non-alignment. And only time can say how India will react future resolutions on Israel or Palestine by human rights councils, right? These three things we have learned this week, and next week we will learn some more news items in detail, and OneWeb I could not cover this week. I will cover next week news analysis and features, and with this let us wind up news analysis and features. I hope you enjoyed this analysis part. Have a nice day. Thank you.